Time to tune in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. We have with us Coach Ken Canion today. And so y'all know it's important to go ahead and grab your virtual seats. How are you, Coach Ken?
I'm doing fantastic, Kim. How are you? I see you got your smile on as usual.
You know what? I'm doing great, and I'm actually honored because I've been watching some of your videos that you've been doing, and they're very helpful to people. The information that you're sharing, the words of encouragement and wisdom. And so I think people are gleaning how they can have better relationships just as a result of listening to some of your teaching from your own personal experience. Yeah.
Right. I think I'm in a season right now where it's, to me, I know we're in this business where we want people to watch our videos and we want to, but I'm not, it's like the pastor says sometimes, this ain't gonna be your jumping hallelujah around the church message. And a lot of what I'm saying nowadays, they're resonating, but I'm not talking about dehumanizing, degrading people. I'm just talking about what we all need to do to level up and be better.
I agree. And that is, if we can level up and just be better. I'm reading a book, Coach Ken, and it's talking about the slight edge. And for me, I know whenever I'm reading that, it's saying just getting 1% better than what you were the previous day. We may not be able to take the biggest leaps and bounds to be able to say these are massive results, but just can I do better tomorrow than I did today? And the answer is yes.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. And that 1% better is not as easy as we think. But what happens is when we begin to walk down this path, see, I always tell people is we get so caught up in time and I got to have this done by this particular day, or I got to do this, and the truth is time is a construct from man. We created time, God's like 1,000 years is one day. It's not time. So what we're like, well, if I need to be in a relationship, I need to be married by 28. Well, who said that? That's something you created, or I gotta achieve this goal by this. And so what I teach my people now is, listen, I need you to divorce yourself of time and marry outcome. Marry the outcome.
Somebody type that. Divorce yourself of, what is it? Divorce yourself of time
and marry outcome.
And marry the outcome. I love that. Yeah. All right. And
what
does that mean? Break it down.
What that means is, you're not so concerned about, I got to get married by, 3 months. In 6 months, I need to have a baby. And so divorce yourself from the time aspect of it and focus on, I want to have a great relationship. I want to marry the partner of my dream and focus on who I need to become to do that. And so if that takes me 2 years to do that, then fine. But I'm not worried about the time. I'm just knowing that the outcome is going to be what it is I want it to be, because I am doing the work. I am growing so I can have that kind of outcome.
I love that perspective, because then if you're focusing internally and saying, what can I do to present myself as the best version of myself, so that when God does bring whoever that is for you, then you are both compatible and able to be already your whole self, is what I think I'm hearing you say.
Well, I think wholeness is a term we use I
Okay.
think I think healing occurs constantly. I think we're always healing. I think we are evolving. Well, the human beings, they say evolve every 7 years, right? We
Right.
evolve into something new. And if you think about it, we're generating new millions of cells each day.
That's right.
They're dying off, more coming. So we're constantly evolving. I think wholeness is a process that we constantly do, that we're constantly evolving, striving for. Because the things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore, but I got something new. I got something new.
Right. Right. Right.
So I think wholeness is part of evolution. We're evolving to become completely whole. And I think we get completely whole once we get on the other side. Once we get on the side where God is in, I think he makes us whole. I think we're evolving, we're striving,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
agree. I agree with you, and I always say that I'm ever evolving, if that makes sense. I'd never want to arrive, and so no matter what's going on in life, I just want to make sure that I'm always learning and I'm always striving to accomplish more based on what His purpose and will is for my life. So I love that.
absolutely,
So yeah, so
absolutely.
Coach Ken, tell everybody up front how people can stay connected with you because some people join at different phases throughout the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm at Coach Ken Ken, as you see on the screen. Canion, I'm on all the social media platforms. I've been blessed to have a pretty big following now. Kim, I remember when we first started, I was nowhere. I didn't I was nowhere where I am today, but I still had the same passion. I had the same fervor for changing lives. And some people are just being introduced to me, but I've been doing this a long time.
That's
Um,
right.
and so I'm telling people, my thoughts are you can have what you say you can have. God has given us this ability to create the lives that we want, and so we just have to say, I'm just willing to do what it takes to get that. That's what
That's
that is.
good.
So yeah, you can find me on the song. Oh, I gotta tell you something too before the day is over.
Yes, tell
I
me.
gotta tell you. So, all right. So for those people who are listening, all right. I did I tell you last time I was here about what I was creating about the communication tool?
Well, just tell us again. The answer is the people need to go back and watch that episode to learn more about what you talked about there. So
Okay.
tell us about the communication tool here on this episode.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you, about 7 months ago, I thought. Well, let me back up. Let me back up quickly. It won't be a long story, but about 3 or 4 years ago, my clients would come to me. My students would come to me and say, "Hey, coach, how do I?" Because my thing is, I'm big on communication. I'm a communication specialist.
Yes.
And so my thing is, I would say, okay, this is how you would respond. This is how you write the email back. This is what you would say. So I wanted to create this thing called How Do You Respond? Well, it became overwhelming. Too many people calling me. So I nixed it. All right. However,
Right.
about 7 months ago when AI came out, I had this revelation.
Yeah.
I said, what if I could hire a developer and I could program AI to communicate like I would tell people to communicate?
Right.
So if you're in a relationship with, whether you're dating and you wanted to ask certain questions,
Yes.
whether you're in a relationship, you want to talk about sensitive issues, like, you're not pleasing me the way I want you to please me. How would you say it? And
Right.
what if though, Kim, you and your family, like, a lot of people got beef with their own family, siblings,
Right.
mother, father. So I went to the designer. I said, I want to teach people how to communicate with these serious things. How would they communicate it? So I started working on it. And the first designer couldn't help me. The responses were like, what? But the second designer, we started working on it 6 months ago.
Okay.
And listen, I created this tool called the Pocket Communication Coach.
Pocket communication coach. Okay.
So think about it. You got you're a coach in your pocket. So let's say you wanted to speak with someone you're dating about a need you have, but you don't know how to say it. So you would type it in to the Pocket Communication Coach, because I programmed it to communicate like a coach, and then it would spit out, here's what you say. And think about it. And the reason why it was communicated that way, so it would be non-combative, non-aggressive, all right, but you would still get your point across and the person would understand it. It is amazing.
So how do people get that?
So we're going to release it. We're going to release it by the first of the year, but you can get on the wait list. I think they may have changed it, but check this out. Right there, type in pocketcommunicationcoach.com.
Everybody it should be flooding the comment sections over in the studio.
Pocket Communication Coach.
Pocket Communication
Coach.com. All right.
I'll type it as well, coach.com. All
yes.
Right.
And so, because I realized that the main reason that people mess up, people say it's finances, it's infidelity. Nope. It is communication. See, a lot of those things could be avoided. Infidelity, the finances could be avoided if we communicated better.
Yes.
And so if we communicated better, we could avoid some of the pitfalls in relationships and dating. But people don't want to say it, because what we're worried about, people think they're good communicators. And I always tell people 98.9% of people are poor communicators. And let me prove it to you.
Right.
How do I know? Because the one thing, if I said, have you ever wanted to say something, Kim, but you didn't say it because you either didn't know how to say it, or you didn't say it because you were worried about how the other person would react to what you had to say?
Both. I mean, that's
that. And I always say, sorry, you fall in the poor communication category.
Right, of course, right.
Because, but most of us are that way. I mean, I used to be that way, but no more. So when I created the tool, not only would the tool teach you what to say, but it would teach you how to say it. And so doing that, how many relationships, and let me tell you this, I got to get excited. One person that I did for one of my students, I said, this is what you want to do. I want you to do it.
Right.
Restore the relationship with her sister. They had been at odds with each other. And I said, say this. And you know how pride gets in the way sometimes?
Right.
And I said, no, I want you to say this. All right. And then she said it. And she said her sister just broke down and they both cried. And she says, I got my sister back. She says, I didn't believe that it could happen that way. She says, it works. And so when I created it, I was like, listen, I'm going to restore these relationships. And so so it's a monthly fee. It's roughly $20 a month, but it's like having a communication coach in your pocket.
Pocket Communication. Y'all type that coach.com and we'll put that on the screen as well.
So pocketcommunicationcoach.com.
And it's coming out in the new year, but you can go ahead and get on the waiting list.
Yep, you can get on the waiting list right now, because I'm looking at the website, and you can get on the waiting list. Please get on the waiting list. So when it's released, when it is fully released, we'll make sure.
So today, everyone, we are talking about how to have emotional security and safety in a relationship, and also how a person can establish trust. So we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to come right back with our own Coach Ken Canion right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. We'll be right back, everyone.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Everett. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
All right, everyone. We are back right here on this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, and we're talking with Coach Ken Canion today about just emotional security, especially as we're going into different seasons. And I'm not going to timestamp this, but just let's make sure that we understand how important it is to have emotional support. So, Coach, you say that it's very important to be honest and be able to tell people what to do and what to expect versus just assuming they know what kind of emotional support you need. So talk to us from that perspective.
Yeah, it's important that you tell them, but it's also important that they understand the messaging. So a lot of people will say what they're feeling, but the other person, number one, doesn't understand the messaging because of the way it's presented. Number two, they don't understand your intention. And so what I tell people is it's one thing to say it, but it's a completely different thing to say it in a way that the other person understands your intention. They understand what you mean. They are very clear on what it is, and they don't feel attacked in the process. And they don't feel you're aggressive in the process. All right. And they don't feel you combative. So that is an art to doing that.
Yes.
That is an art to doing that. I'll tell you one of my clients. One of my clients was like, Coach, I got this guy. He just keeps pressuring me about sex. You know, he wants sex. You know, men want sex and men do want sex. Yeah. I said, yeah. And I said, but I've been going along to get along, but I don't want to do that. I said, well, why don't you say it? I don't know how to say it. And so I taught her how to say it. And so you want me to show you?
Yes, of course. We need to know how to say it. Well, anybody in the studio audience, if y'all want to know how to say it, this is some free coaching, a gift to you, Coach Canion. Tell us how to say it.
What I told her, I said, first of all, you acknowledge what he wants. Here's what you say. First thing is you say, don't get triggered and mad. Oh, you want sex from me? You're going to have to give me a relationship. I was like, yo. I said, okay, but let's change this. I said, why don't you say this? I said, here's what you say. You know what? I love the fact that you desire me that way.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you would love to have a physical relationship with me. You know, I love the fact that you're attracted to me in that way. You know, the physical connection is important when we get there. However, for me, the most important thing is the mental connection. The mental connection where we see if our values are in alignment. That's the most important thing for me right now. And if we get to the point where we develop a physical relationship, that physical connection, that'll be great. But this is what's important to me right now.
That's good. That's perfect wording. And my children actually have been helping me with some things that as adults that they've learned in their studies. And I'm like, that's great. Just being able to not be in attack mode, but be in the mode of just acknowledging that the other person is what they're doing is of value too. It's not that what they're bringing to the situation is like just to be dismissed. It's important what they're attempting to share. And to recognize and acknowledge that, I think is very important. That's helped a lot of my conversations go much better as a result of that. First saying, I understand your perspective and I value your perspective, and what you're bringing to me is very important, and just acknowledging that and then going into some of the direction that I may want my conversation to go in. It's been very helpful. Yeah. Oh, here, someone asked a question. Let me just get this question up. Ken, how do you feel about waiting for marriage?
I mean, waiting to have sex?
Well, probably waiting to have sex until marriage. That's a good
All
one.
right. And so I'm going to give you an answer that I want you to hear what I'm about to say. Okay. See, my belief is that I'm a Christian. I love God. And this is the one area where I say God intended for us to wait because of the way we structure. Now, if we didn't have the desire, but some people gonna jump on me when I finish this though. Now, he intended it because you would not have any other thing to compare it to.
Right, that's true.
Do you follow him? That was the intent behind it. Now, in that intention, it makes sense. All right, it makes sense. All right, and I get that. However, I'm gonna just be honest. I'm gonna just be honest. And God don't want me to, I'm always tell the truth. I said, I personally
Okay.
know it's right. I know that is the way God structured it. But I would not want to wait to find out if the person and I was sexually compatible. I wouldn't. And listen, I know that's God's way. Okay. But the reason why I say that is because as a man, being sexually frustrated, women too, but being sexually frustrated is a terrible thing, which can lead to infidelity. Now, a lot of things can lead to infidelity. Right. However, here's the answer I'm gonna give you. That was Ken's answer. Let me give you Coach's answer. Coach's answer is this. So I had to be honest about how I felt about it. Coach's answer is this. You must do what makes you feel. Oh, I was missing over the red. Okay.
I'm like, somebody find my glasses around here. I can't see these comments.
Yeah. I think that you have to do what makes sense for you. Okay. And in making sense for you, if it's part of your value system that I gotta wait, then you have to stand by that. And you can't let people press you into that. Now,
that's right.
But if it's your value system that I want to know whether we're compatible, because let me tell you why. Oh, I got to tell you what happened. So,
tell me.
Case in point. Clients, they waited. They talked about it. And they waited. And what happened was, I had two separate cases. In one case, they waited, but the guy didn't tell the lady that he had ED issues, erectile dysfunction issues. And when they got there, when they got on the wedding night, he didn't do it. But they did it sometime after that. But she was unaware that this was going to be, and she thought she was deceived. Right. I'll give you another point. Another case in point was a man married a lady, and they never had sex. But she used to wear enhancements like push-up bras. She even had butt pads on. And he assumed that her body was different than it was. And so that night, when they got together, he was shocked when he realized that it was not. Oh, this guy, hey, Kim, I can't make this stuff up. I can't make it up.
You can't make it up. And so so when she took all of that stuff off, it was an entirely different body.
So his thing was, I didn't get what I thought I was getting. Now, he wrestled with the idea of divorce, but because I explained to him, I said, could you get past it? He said, I don't know. But the reality was, he was like, this is not what I thought I was getting. And so I get it. And then some people might get upset and say, well, doesn't he love her for more than just her body? Well, he does. However, the body was a part of that. The body, her sex appeal, the sexuality was a part of that. Okay.
He was attracted to what he thought was the case.
And so because he was a part of that, therein lies the issue. So what I'm saying is we bring it, and I appreciate Mackenzie asking that question, because what it does is it invokes more conversation. And what am I? Communications expert. My thing is, let's talk about this. Let's communicate seriously about it.
That's good. That's good. Lady Justine Hillier said that they waited until marriage, and so she wanted to make sure. And then
I'm glad that worked for her.
Yes. Dr. Tina Ramsey is on, and she is the founder of CTR Media Network, and this is where we stream into like 100 countries. And
amazing!
Yes, definitely. Let me put that back up for a second. I want to make sure you all connect as well, and know that I'll send you her way. Okay. And I see Dr. Zakia. Dr. Zakia said pocket communication coach. Everybody's typing that in, pocketcommunicationcoach.com. Make sure you all know that. So what we're going to do is take another commercial break and come back and talk more about emotional security, and safety, and how important it is in a relationship. We'll be right back, everyone, right after this break.
Why do you say it like that?
Hey, we
Okay.
go ahead. I'll put you back. Okay, so listen, everybody, we're talking with Coach Ken Canion today. Let me make sure you know that we have Attorney Charles Everidge as our episode sponsor. So make sure you all reach out to them at 704-457-5000 if you're dealing with disability, wrongful death of a loved one, or any type of workers' compensation compensation issues as well. And you saw one of the commercials that's happening is with Dr. Joe D. Baer. That's going to be coming up throughout this broadcast as well today. She has an event that's happening in February in Florida called Healthopedia event. And I want to make sure that you learn more about that. We're going to play that for you as well. It's 800-820-0584 to stay connected with her, drjod.com, and make sure that you all connect. Now, the coffee commercial that you just saw, for whatever reason, people are raving about how wonderful it is. So make sure you all get they have black coffee, and they also have mushroom infused coffee, 6 different versions of mushroom that are infused. vproducts.store. vproducts.store. Okay, I'm going to pull Coach Ken back in. Coach Ken,
Hey.
we talk about this emotional stability and safety. Talk to us some more and share some tips with us.
Well, when you say emotional stability, so that's a broad subject. More specifically, do you mean in a relationship? Do you mean
in a relationship? Because that's the reason. Let me put my glasses on. Coach Ken Canion, that's what you here for today.
Well,
our relationship discussing person.
Well,
no, seriously, I consider you an expert. Just so you know, I really value what you bring to the table in this relationship.
No, I know. I'm just trying to. Okay, so when you say emotional, so people look at that differently. So let me explain. Let me. Then I offer context what I mean. So sometimes when we have, so for instance, we all have emotional needs as a human being. Okay, we have, they call them 6 emotional needs. We have connection. We have growth. We have, these needs. Okay, now. And then
Her Needs is a lot of books and stuff out there about
His Needs, Her Needs is a great book. What I tell people is this. Here's the most important thing you need to understand. Well, I'm going to break this down a little differently now that you got me on here. So I did this on my live last night. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm going to ask you a question, Kim. So you get ready to be in a relationship.
Yes.
What drives you most, your wants or your needs?
For me, it would be my needs. I want my needs to be met.
Okay. What drives most people, you think, their wants or their needs?
I think the wants is what drives most people.
Right.
But I don't know why it drives most people. I just think
I'll explain it to you. So what it is whenever you want something, you become what they call hyper focused on that thing. Right. So if I want Chinese food tonight, I get hyper focused on the Chinese food that I want. Okay. Right. However, tomorrow night, I may want seafood and get hyper focused on that. That is what happens in relationships. And what happens is when we get hyper focused on what it is we want, we lose out, and the relationship loses out, because what drives human beings long term are the things that we need. You see, I might want this kind of guy driving this kind of car. You know what? But tomorrow I may not. And I'm gonna tell you the simple way to know this. You can get kids toys at some point during that holiday season or whatever that is. And then in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, they'll be through playing with it. On to the next thing.
You're like, I thought you needed that in your life. You
No.
didn't need anything. That was a want.
And so when you focus on what you need in a relationship, what you need, like for instance, in security, what you say, an emotional need, when you get your emotional need met, it leads to security.
Well, let me give you an example because I know you give a lot of examples.
Okay.
One is a need of mine is open, honest communication.
That's a need. Yes.
That is a need. I cannot be with anybody that's not really willing to be truthful about who you are and what you really say you're going to do, and then you don't do it.
Yes. Yes. And you're right. And you're absolutely right. Your need. Kim, we need to still find Kim, her boy.
Kim, I'm going to tell you right now. You put that comment down and
okay.
Pop her own comments up. So you see how somebody overstepping? You get what I'm saying?
No. You're right. You're absolutely right. Mackenzie, this year, I'm introducing Kim to somebody.
This is about.
Okay.
No. I'm going to take control around here. Take a commercial break now. Just go to commercial. We'll be right back.
Why learn about health when you can experience it? Experience it in beautiful Florida in February 2024. Join us for 3 days of integrative and intensive health and healing education and empowerment with the expertise of the following Healthopedia author, speaker, and facilitators. The world-renowned homeopath and acupuncture physician, Dr. James Marinakis, 4-decade health coach and holistic nutritionist, Dr. Joe D. Bear, and others such as Kimberly Meredith, Dame Doria Cordova, Rex Sykes, Dr. Gary Sanchez, Jamie Kerr, Serena Brown-Travis, and more. Experience daily morning walking and yoga, interactive participation, panel discussions, and more for your own epiphany of health. Get your tickets now.
All right. We're back talking with Coach Ken. Talk to us now about the topic. Go ahead.
So, in terms of security, emotional needs. Yeah. I always tell people I have this test, right, and it works kind of like this. There are 10 basic emotional needs that I learned this from His Needs, Her Needs, the book. And what I get couples to do is rank them for you. So we take these 10 needs and I say rank them in order of importance. Okay. And so I get their partner to rank them. And so here's the misnomer that people need to understand, that our needs to be the same. They don't have to be the same. Your need for domestic support might be one of your number one needs. That might not be a need of mine. But here's where the difference comes in. When you get in a relationship, you essentially, what you're signing is an unwritten contract that says, I am going to attempt to meet your needs. Okay. And so if you don't, like, for instance, if your need is domestic support, then I may not like to clean up, but I want to help meet that need. So I'm going to hire somebody 2 times a week to come in because you got the kids, you're taking care of them, to help clean up the house. Right. So I attempted to meet that. I'm attempting to meet that need. And what you feel like is, okay, my husband he's trying to help me meet this need. Yes. Even though it is not one of his needs, what happens is it's like, okay, he wants to help me meet the need.
That's right.
That's what makes the difference. So we get it twisted when we think that it is that we have to have the same needs. No. It's just that I've got to attempt to meet your need. That has got to be a priority of mine. And even if I can, go ahead.
Oh, I interrupted you. Go.
No. Go right ahead.
I was just going to say that when you meet that need, you can see the outcome of you meeting that need. And I used in the past, I would actually meet that particular need And then I would notice that, like domestic support or whatever, I would notice that, oh, I would get an extra trip, or I would get some type of reward as a result of making sure that the children had AB honor roll. I'm like, what? I get a whole dress. I get to go to Hawaii. Whatever the case may be, you get some type of reciprocation, because then you realize that that need really was a true need for that person.
Absolutely. But most of us, we don't try to find out what that need is or what their needs are. We just, and you know what a lot of people do?
What?
I give you something based on a need I have. Like, for instance, I like to give you gifts. We just use the love languages. Right. I like gifts, so I'm gonna give you gifts. And for you, you don't care about gifts. You just want to spend quality time. Right. And if you want to spend quality time, but I don't want to give you quality time, I'm working out of time, but I'm going to buy you the gifts. You know I love you. Look, I just bought you a Rolex watch. But you're like, I don't want the Rolex watch. I don't
need that. That's like a mortgage payment. I just want to have what I want to have, which is affection, and I want to cuddle.
There you go.
Whatever. So
there you go.
That's really good.
And so that's how you look at needs. Okay. That's how you look at emotional and meeting a person's needs. Because now listen to this, and going back to your original point was security, mental and emotional security. I said that because when you meet a person's needs, the other person feels secure.
That's the bottom line. Everybody make sure you know that in the comments section, in the virtual studio audience, when you meet the other person's need, they feel secure. Yes. They feel like the relationship is to their advantage.
Yes, they feel.
I love it. I love it. All right, so we need to find someone who will take her. Okay. I'm not gonna. I just think I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate you backstage. All right. Any other comments? Zakia says, I'm serious on here, Mackenzie, trying to get their questions answered. So let's stop. Okay. Always healing. Absolutely, sir. Dr. Zakia said. Dr. Zakia said. You want to elaborate on that comment, Dr. Zakia, please, and we'll be happy to even address it further. Let's see.
That's deceptive.
Go ahead. What she said?
That's deceptive. People should tell the truth about who they are and what their body looks like. Absolutely. I mean, it is. Yeah. Justine, you're right. You're so right.
That's crazy. Go.
No, here's what I'll say. The thing is, y'all, what we do is we attempt to only tell people the highlights of our life. If I can tell you the highlights of, it's kind of like the movies. What do they show you? The highlight. Have you ever been to a movie, Kim? The highlights were great, and you get to the movie and you're like, this is so boring. That
was the movie. They showed the main pieces of the movie in the highlights. I'm like, that was a trick.
That's what people do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what people do. They will show you the highlights of their life. But what matters is when you get inside and you see the actual details of the things that are going on, then you can make an assessment of, okay, this is, what I want to be. This is who I want to be. And this is what I want to get involved with. But many of us are not willing to do that.
Well, I know whenever people are talking and they're getting to know each other and you're pouring out your heart's desire, not just your heart's desire, but some of your past, some of the different nuances to your life. How should people do that when they're in the getting to know each other phase? Or should they be more reserved and keeping some of that? Because I actually think you should be totally transparent. So I'll tell you everything you need to know so that you know what you need to know. So that way you can know whether you even want to be involved in any further, But I may be doing it in my life.
No, I have a way. The way you do that is you do it in direct proportion to how the relationship progresses.
Okay.
So if the relationship if we in second conversation, I'm not telling you that that I had trauma when I was a kid. Mama used to beat me. I'm not telling you that in second conversation too. Okay. But as we progress, based on the progression, I reveal more about myself. Now, What I do tell people is, and this is why I'm the doctor, AKA Coach Ken, is because what I do is I show them how to probe and what we call collect data by asking one or two questions within the conversation. Like, for instance, when I'm getting to know you, I'm going to say, Kim, if we're getting to know each other and we go out, I say, tell me one decision that you've made in your life that has helped you grow to the woman you are today. Now, that is what we call a subconscious question.
Of course.
That question, that might be the deepest question that I ask you that day. And the other questions might be about us having fun. You like eating fish, or whatever.
Yeah,
What I've done is I've tapped into your subconscious a little bit.
Okay.
And then the next one, I'm going to tap in again. I might go a little bit deeper. But the first couple of conversations are all about, I teach people this. Do I like you?
Okay.
No, seriously. It's not any
like
more simpler than that. Do I like you? Because a man and a woman, preferably a man wants to be around you based on how you make him feel.
Yes.
Okay? If he feels good when he's around you, he wants to be around you more.
So if he is not communicating with you often, then that means that he doesn't want to be around you?
When you say not communicating, you mean not texting,
calling,
not
texting.
initiating you? Yes.
Right.
That means if he's not initiating any conversation at all, it simply means, I just did a video about that before I got on here.
Okay.
When a man is inconsistent, what does that mean? And then what to do? And then I did one when he's sending you mixed signals. And it ain't just men, it's women too. But on these two, I just happen to be focused on when a man does it.
Right.
Okay? But yeah, if he's not calling, he's just not into you. Into you because his action. Oh, okay. Because his actions tell you what he wants.
That's right.
It does.
Good. I mean, this is just you're talking about a friend. I'm not talking about me, y'all. I'm actually the host here. Okay. All right. So he's not into you. Sheila also said, I totally agree with what you're saying. Lynn says she loves the conversation, and lots of hearts that's coming in as well. He's not into you. Marceline says, she says, agree. I have seen women give everything out on day one and never receive or hear from them again. Should be done in progression. You may not like the person for a relationship. Very good point.
Yes. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so when we come back again after this break, which I'm gonna do the break, Mackenzie. But when we come back, what I want to hear about is trust. Because I went through some of your videos. I was like, there's some good topics here that Coach Ken over there doing. But how to get the person to trust you. You were talking actually to men in that video. So you were like, men, if you want women to trust you, this is what you have to do. So I know you pop videos out every second, but that's that particular one. And I thought it was, that's awesome. So we'll be right back, everyone, to hear more from Coach Ken Canion, our relationship expert. Put some hearts in the comment, hashtag Ken Canion if you're enjoying today's conversation. We'll be right back.
Ignite your life and seize the new year by effectively planning it with your 2024 Ignite and Take Flight Planner. It's time to navigate your success with strategic project management. Win with inspiring quotes from inspirational people that will guide you to the success you deserve. And don't forget to track your dollars, habits, empowering notes, and connect with dynamic brands. It's never too late to start planning your success. Get your copy now.
Hey, I like that planner right there. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's an amazing planner that you definitely everybody needs to get access to. And Dr. Lotus Richey with Lotus Richey Ignites show has that planner. So make sure that you all connect with her to get it. All right. So talk to us about trust.
Okay. So think of trust as a mountain. I call it Trust Mountain.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I give analogies so that the mind can actually, because the mind operates in pictures. And
Yes.
so when I tell people, I said, listen, think of trust like Trust Mountain. It is a mountain that you're climbing. Okay. And so everything you do helps you climb that mountain. And so when I tell people the things that help you go up the mountain, go higher up the mountain, the things I tell you to do are going to help you. Like, for instance, when I tell you to tell the person the truth, even if it hurts them.
Yes.
Okay. The other person says they may not like what you said, but what you did was you went up Trust Mountain because they can trust you to tell the truth. They can trust you to be honest. Okay. And so one of the other techniques I tell people is follow through on what you say you're going to do.
Yeah.
I don't care what, if you say you're going to be there at 10, be there at 10. Because what you're doing is subconsciously you're going up Trust Mountain. Now, let's say you can't be there at 10, right? But you call the person and tell them why you couldn't do the things that you said you were going to do. But then you still go up the mountain because you took responsibility for not being able to complete what you said you're going to do.
That's good. Yes.
Okay. And then another way to get up Trust Mountain, just the third way off the cuff, is when you're wrong, say you're wrong. When you apologize for being wrong, the other person says, I can trust you even when you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are three ways that you can earn trust with somebody. All right. Mm-hmm. And so, because what we try to do with people, is we try to hide stuff, because we figure out if I don't say it, they ain't gonna know about it, we're good. And in some cases, when you're just meeting people, you don't tell them everything, right?
Of course.
You tell them to the degree that the conversation progresses. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
what was point number one more time? Because I see the follow through, the when you're wrong, say you're wrong. But it was the first one you said. I was typing what you were saying.
Tell the truth, even if it hurts the other person.
Even if it hurts.
Be honest, even if it hurts. Like, you might be like, baby, I don't really like those shoes. Right. I don't really like those shoes because they're not your best shoes. Now, the person might get mad, but they know that, you've told the truth. And here's the other thing about Trust Mountain. You don't always just tell the truth about bad stuff or stuff that's perceived bad. You tell the truth about good stuff too. You know what? I love the way you kept your car clean. That's an affirmation or something like that. But you tell the truth about those things too. Ooh, you look good in that skirt. And not just when I don't really like that on you. So now that adds validity to what you're saying. I know you're telling the truth because you tell the truth even when it's good too.
Yeah. And I that when I talked earlier about communication, I'm big on just saying the whole truth about it as much as possible. That is important to me personally. So I don't withhold something. If I know that it's the whole truth and nothing but the truth, then I go ahead and share it from a communication perspective. But that I majored in that too when I was in college. But most people, that's not the perspective, because it's something always withheld. But I do believe that the more you can share the real facts, whether it's good, the bad, or the ugly, it makes it just like everything's on the table. So that's what I personally believe.
Yes, I agree.
All right. So these are some great tips that you all are hearing today. Any of you all have questions, comments? I see hashtag Ken Canion. Yes, Canion, Ken Canion. Okay. And there's some red hearts, Lynn. I totally agree. Sheila said, thank you all so much for being active in the studio audience. He's not into you. Right. Yeah, we agree. All right. So listen, what other, you've been doing a lot of videos. There are some things that during this time frame, it would be just great to say, here's a point from this one or from that one that you really want people to walk away with? Any specific tip that you want people to glean from today?
I would just say this. I would just say this. A lot of people have gotten to the point where they don't believe anymore. They don't believe that they can have the type of relationship that they were, even if they're in a bad relationship right now. But just know this, though, that you can. You can. And I always say, if you're willing to change you and the world will follow. Okay?
Change you and the world will follow. Don't worry about trying to change anybody else, because we cannot make somebody else do anything. Change you. We can barely make ourselves do anything, Ken.
That is so true.
How in the world can we change somebody else whenever we're not even able to sometimes do things our own self in a disciplined manner?
No, that's so. But just know that you can have it. You can have the desires of your heart if you're willing to do 3 things. Number 1, if you're willing to make your intention known, confess your desire. Number 2, you're willing to do the work and act as if I'm going to have it. All right. And then number 3, be consistent in that work. And what's going to happen is you will manifest the things you desire.
That's good. Confess your desire. Number 2 is what?
To be willing to do the work. And I call it acting as if I already have it. What would you do? All right. Do the things that help you become the person who can have the thing that you desire.
Yes. And number 3, one more time.
And number 3, I just simply said, be consistent, do the work over and over again.
Be consistent. All right, you guys. I mean, there's some great information that Coach Ken has been on sharing with us today. Any more comments that's come in, I want to make sure that we get a chance to acknowledge them. But I also want to share this. Let me present this for a second. If I can find this quick file, because it's the end of the year, and I want to make sure that you all know that there are opportunities that are available. I know with Gabe's Heart Foundation, we are raising funds to get defibrillators put in different public spaces where young people congregate, to be able to have the ability for paramedics to arrive on scene. This is around the country, for them to be able to have the ability to arrive on scene to do their life-saving measures. And so GabesHeartFoundation.org, if you're looking for end of year ways to contribute to a 501c3 nonprofit organization, that is definitely one of the ways. And I'm going to share something from our chairman of the board, and I'll pull her in and let you hear from her now. Yeah. Here we go. A quick video from her.
I'm Shawn Hall, and I am chairman of the board for Gabe's Heart Foundation. I am coming to you asking you to keep Gabe's heart beating by making a charitable, tax-deductible donation before December 31st. Whether it's your personal taxes or for your company, we can accommodate all of your needs. Please go to GabesHeartFoundation.org and make your tax-free donation today.
All right. And again, that's Shawn Hall, chair. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Coach Ken.
I just said I'm going to make me a donation. You know, I always do that.
Well, yeah, you definitely do. Thank you so much. GabesHeartFoundation.org, and his Cash App is $ Gabe's Heart. PayPal.me. This is for the audio podcast listeners. PayPal.me/Gabe's Heart Foundation. And you can also go to Givelify and type in Gabe's Heart Foundation as well, if you would like to do your end of year 501c3 tax deductible donation. All right. Any closing comment, Coach Ken?
Only closing comment is I will say this: in this season, just explore the possibilities of a new you. That's it. You know what? God wants us to grow. He wants us to expand. And we look around, all of a sudden, the things that you need will just appear once you have the intention of, this is what I'm going to do.
Yes. And I agree with everything that you said. Everything that you've said. Can you believe that, Coach Ken? I totally agree with pretty much everything that you've said today.
We're evolving together. You know, every time we come on, we're evolving.
Yes.
I will say this as It's just that my mission is to put relationships together and keep them together. And that's healthy, happy relationships. Doesn't mean it will be devoid of problems. It just means that we have the tools we need to work through them.
And I'm glad you made that point, because you're personally doing that in your own life. And today I want to acknowledge your anniversary.
No, it's not my anniversary. I need to tell people that.
Oh, I thought it was your anniversary. Somebody called me and told me that. I was like, what? Somebody didn't know that. That's not what
No. Let me tell you what I do. I tell my social media person, I put my wife up there.
Okay.
I need to let them know that, look, yeah. I'm married. I need to let them know that I'm not faking out here. I'm not out here faking. I'm for real about this. So I just like, look. So she did that video. She just put that up. She just happened to put our wedding pictures up there.
Oh, okay. You know what? The thing is, I read the post. I heard the song. The song was lovely. I was like, but then it's copyright. It's copyright issues when you play somebody's song. So I was like, I'm just gonna grab the pictures. No sound, right? But the thing is, what I love about, I'm glad your social media person is doing that. But then I read in there that you've been married for 22 years, correct? Mm-hmm. I read all of that. So I didn't know it was not the anniversary. But here's the thing. It's an example of a marriage that's long-term. And you're saying, hey, follow me as I follow God's message for my life with my own family. I love that, Coach Ken. And so
that's why I did it. I always said, I ain't faking out here in these streets now.
We're going to still put some photos up, and I want you to just say something about your love.
Oh, that's my baby there. That's that's my friend. I can tell her everything. We have fun together. That's when we were in Canada. I had to speak at an event. She went with me. And so I
love those glasses. See, Karen, she know what she's doing with the glasses.
I got those glasses. You
had something to do with it. You trying to get some?
I got those glasses just so we clear. That's when we was young, But that's when she wouldn't chasing me. She wouldn't go away,
Karen, I told you need to come on the show so you can go ahead and do your comedy, speak for yourself. Because you see, he got a different version. I'm sure your version is all together.
We got a different version. Me and my wife about to start doing our podcast again. And now, you're going to hear a whole bunch of versions of stuff.
And she's funny and it is entertaining, and she's sweet and loves you to pieces. You can tell her whole family unit. I saw the pictures of the family. Y'all just are really a blessing to this world. So this is good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
And let's see this final one here too. I want to put that up. That speaks volumes. What does that picture mean to you? Like when you see that?
We're gonna dance to the beat of our own drum. I mean, so that's what we do.
Well, Lynn said, beautiful pictures, Coach. Congratulations on the long
Lynn. Thank you, Lynn.
All right, everyone. If you all want to know how to be able to stay connected. Oh, you know what? I have to say this, my last thing. We're starting a group training on how to start your own virtual show from scratch. And we already have students registered for the class. It's a group session, kicks off on January 8th at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I would love to have you in the class. You can call 704-944-3534, or you can email kim@thebalancedoctor.tv to grab one of the last 3 seats that's available. So go ahead and get yourself in this class and be ready to start your own show from scratch. You'll be audio, video, live streaming. It's going to be off the chain, and you own your own content. All right, everybody. Coach Ken, any closing comment? And we're going to close out.
Now, you guys take care of yourself. Remember, every journey starts with one step. Take yours today.
Love you guys. Have a great one. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a